The SRG is an integral part of the WWC systematic review process and serves as a user-friendly tool for reviewing studies. Reviewers use the SRG to report pertinent information about a study and apply the logic of the WWC group design standards and procedures to assign a study rating and report findings. The SRG provides a uniform way for reviewers to apply the WWC design standards, supporting quality and consistency across study reviews. There are two versions of the SRG. The first, the public version, can be accessed by anyone through the WWC website to complete study reviews. The second, the WWC contract version, is available only to certified reviewers conducting an official WWC review of a study under a contract with the U.S. Department of Education's Institute of Education Sciences. In addition, reviewers must complete a security screening process in order to access the WWC contract version of the SRG. Both versions are identical in how they apply WWC procedures and standards, and will result in the same rating for a given study. But there are important differences in the functions available in each version, including a different process for accessing the SRG. Ratings and information from reviews using the contract SRG are saved to the WWC database and flow to the WWC website. Reviews in the public SRG do not affect content on the WWC website. Because the contract SRG is connected to the WWC database, some information that users must enter manually in the public SRG is pre-populated or available in menus in the contract SRG. The last two stages of a review, entering contextual and narrative information, are optional in the public SRG. This module uses the contract version of the SRG in demonstrations. However, we highlight where the functions in the public version are different. Once a WWC contract review is complete and approved, information entered into the SRG will flow to the WWC website, where the general public can view it. For example, this study page on the WWC website for Glazerman et al. 2006 includes the following information taken directly from the SRG: the study design, total number of students examined and their grades, the study rating and key information about the study outcome findings, details on the study's findings about the effectiveness of the intervention, sample characteristics, and the study context, such as the setting, intervention and comparison groups, and implementation support. Since the results are not saved to the WWC database, the WWC website will not display information from reviews conducted using the public version of the SRG. To help you get oriented to the SRG, let's quickly review how the SRG is organized. With the SRG, each review assesses a study of an intervention, following a specific review protocol for a specific purpose, such as contributing to a systematic review for an intervention report. This means that, to begin a review, you will need to identify the study you will review and the relevant intervention the study examined, and select the appropriate review protocol. For contract reviewers, the review coordinator will identify this information for you when assigning a review task. In the public version, you will need to enter the study citation, identify the intervention, and select the appropriate review protocol. The SRG breaks each review into distinct stages, which differ for the contract and public versions of the SRG. The first stage in both versions is screening the study for eligibility. Many studies reviewed under a WWC contract will have already been screened for eligibility before a review coordinator assigns them to a reviewer. This step is for the reviewer to confirm whether the study is eligible for review based on reading the entire study. The next stage is for contract reviewers to tag the review with keywords and topics used to categorize reviewed studies on the WWC website. This stage is not included in the public SRG. The next two stages, included in both versions of the SRG, are entering measure information such as sample sizes and findings for each outcome measure, and confirming the final study rating. If a study meets WWC design standards, contract reviewers will need to complete two additional review stages. They will need to enter additional information about the context in which the study was conducted and narrative information about the study, such as the study sample, descriptions of intervention and comparison groups, and support for implementing the intervention, In the public SRG, these final two stages are optional. The SRG displays these stages at the top of the review screen and indicates progress in the review process. Before we get into the details of completing the SRG, let's review a few tips for conducting a WWC study review. First, carefully read the review protocol you will use for the review. Also, quickly read the study before starting the review to familiarize yourself with it. Next, read the SRG instructions for further guidance on completing reviews, in addition to what we discuss in this module. Information documented in the SRG should be clear, complete, and accurate. In particular, reviewers conducting a review under a WWC contract should always use complete sentences because information from the contract SRG flows to the WWC website. They should also check for spelling or grammatical errors and be sure to provide enough detail for others to understand the review, including clearly documenting in the review notes any assumptions they made during the review and any questions for the study authors. Finally, contract reviewers should include study page references in their review notes and in the study narrative fields.